All right, so I think that we will start this meeting for the Town of Newbury Planning Board. So this is the 15th of April. As a preliminary matter, this is Peter Pecos. I'm the chair for the Newbury Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons acquainted on the agenda are present and can hear me. I'm going to have to read a little script, folks. Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. George Morse.
Yes.
Larry Murphy.
Yes.
Leslie Matthews.
Yes.
Woody Knight.
Yes.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Martha Taylor.
Yes.
Emily Noble.
Yes.
Anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Stephen Sawyer.
Oops.
And/or Mark Griffin.
Hold
Hey.
on.
There we go. I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Introduction to our remote meeting. Good evening. This is April 15th, 2020. Open meeting of the Newbury Planning Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. As such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open law to have all meetings in a public accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuing public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will allow public comment from the two presenters. For this meeting, the Newbury Planning Board is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted in the Planning Board's agenda, which can be found on the Planning Board's page of the town's website. The agenda identifies how public may join the meeting. This agenda also can be accessed from the website's homepage by clicking on the box that says Agenda at the top of the news box. For Zoom meetings, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to, quote, share screen your computer unless you're requested to do so by me. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Meeting materials, we provided the board's committee members prior to the meeting for review. Applicants or the representatives may be called upon to speak and or share information to the screen if able or on the fly. Please note that public hearings, all materials on the agenda except for ministerial matters, excuse me, will be continued. The date of the time of the convenience for all scheduled public hearings will be announced after I've established the ground rules for the meeting. Excuse me, meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After speakers conclude their remarks, the chair will then open our discussion to our panel, and we're allowing for open mic participation. We just ask that people speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any responses, please wait until I've yielded the floor and state your name before speaking. If board members wish to engage, we will do so in an appropriate manner. For items with public comment, it's not applicable for tonight except for the applicants. After board members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. Okay, we request that. The chair will now announce all continued public hearings on a separate announcement. So let me move to that, which I will do now. This is the 15th of April 2020 public hearing continuances. Pursuant to Chapter 53 of the Acts of 2020, Section 17, the public hearing of the Planning Board's proposed zoning amendments shall be continued to May 6, 2020 at 7 p.m. at the Newbury Municipal Offices, 12 Kent Way, Byfield, Mass., second floor hearing room, issued by Peter Pecos, Chair, Newbury Planning Board. Number 2, pursuant to Chapter 53 of the Acts of 2020, Section 17, the public hearing for the definitive subdivision plan application of Triple Q Inc., dated February 19th and filed with the Planning Board on March 4th, 2020, for a proposed 5-lot residential subdivision, Collington Crossing, on land of 108 Main Street, Assessors Map U11, Lot 1A, and off Main Street, Assessors Map R41, Lot 56, shall be continued to May 20th, 2020 at 7:15 at the Newbury Municipal Offices, 12 Kent Way, Byfield, Mass., second floor hearing room, issued by Peter Pecos, Chair, Newbury Planning Board. Pursuant to Chapter 53 of Acts of 2020, Section 17, the public hearing for the common driveway special permit application of Triple Q Inc., dated February 19th and filed with the Planning Board on March 4th, 2020, for a common driveway to serve 2 lots in a proposed 5-lot residential subdivision, Collington Crossing, on land at 108 Main Street, Assessors Map U11, Lot 1A, and off Main Street, Assessors Map R41, Lot 56, shall be continued to May 20th, 2020 at 7:15 at the Newbury Municipal Offices, 12 Kent Way, Byfield, Mass., second floor hearing room, issued by Pete Pecos, Chair, Newbury Planning Board. And third and final, pursuant to Chapter 53 of the Acts of 2020, Section 17, the public hearing for the special permit application for Stowaway Storage LLC, doing business as Newbury Self-Storage, William D. Francesco, manager, dated January 8th, 2020, for expansion of self-storage facility known as Newbury Self-Storage at 131 Newbury Turnpike, Assessors Map R36, parcels 23 and 24, shall be continued to May 6th at 7:15 at the Newbury Municipal Offices, 12 Kent Way, Byfield, Mass., second floor hearing room, issued by Pecos, Chair, Newbury Planning Board. In following with that, pursuant to Chapter 53 of the Acts of 2020, Section 17, public hearing for the site plan review application of Stowaway Storage LLC, doing business as Newbury Self-Storage, William D. Francesco, manager, dated January 8th, 2020, for expansion of self-storage facility known as Newbury Self-Storage at 131 Newbury Turnpike, Assessors Map R36, parcel 23 and 24, shall be continued to May 6th, 2020 at 7:15 in the Newbury Municipal Offices, 12 Kent Way, Byfield, Mass., second floor hearing room, issued by Peter Pecos, Chair, Newbury Planning Board. Thank you for your patience with that. As everyone can tell, we've had to make some adjustments to how we're doing business as a result of this current situation. So with that, if we look at our agenda, our first item is continued. The hearing has been continued. At this time, we can move into submission appearances. Our first appearance would be by Stephen Sawyer, DCI, a submission of an A&R plan for lot line changes and lot split at 277 High Road, map R11, lot 70, owner applicant, Hero LLC. Stephen?
Good evening. Actually, Martha, would you like me to share the plan that we're submitting, or?
Pete, what do you think?
If you'd like
Do
to.
you care?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
just briefly.
It's up to you. Sure.
All right. See if I can figure this out. Screen 2. Boom. I don't know. So can you all see that?
No.
Not yet.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. How about that?
Mhm.
Good.
Okay. All right. So this is an A&R. I think everyone knows much about this lot. I've heard a lot about it. It would be subdividing into seven lots. The existing house here, the barn lot, and then 5 more running down cottage. Actually, all these lots would conform to any potential change regarding lot width and lot width minimum and frontage at the front setback. So conforms to today's zoning and any potential zoning that might come out of the town. So that's about it.
That concludes that presentation. Martha, do you have any questions, or are you set with that?
No, I'm, excuse me, all set. Excuse me, sorry.
Okay.
All set with that. Normally, as you know, we usually act on A&Rs when they're presented because they've gone through process. This time the board will be deferring action. I don't know whether you want to vote to, accept the application. It has the copies have been filed. The filing fee was dropped off at the office today, and the electronic copy was filed with the town clerk as allowed under Section 17 of Chapter 53.
Is there a motion to accept the application?
I motion to accept the application.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, as far as the motion goes, we'll do a roll call. Larry?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
And Woody, I'm just going to have you support or not support in your humble opinion.
Yes.
Thank you, Woody. Got that, Martha? And Pete says yes.
Okay.
Okay, next on our agenda is a submission. It is by Stephen Sawyer of DCI, submission of an OSRD, special permit application for 105 High Road, map R48, lot 49, owner applicant De Piro LLC.
Good evening, Steve Sawyer here on behalf of De Piro LLC. So we've submitted a OSRD application. I think this you've seen many iterations of this, in particular the yield plan, I guess, to get to where what are the amount of units on site. We had a pretty good meeting. We felt it was a couple months back now. We're submitting it. We want to submit it formally and get the process rolling. So we've submitted 4 plans, an OSRD special permit plan, 80 scale overall site context and OSRD plan, a yield plan, and a landscape plan, landscape rendered plan, along with a narrative, about a 10-page narrative with visual graphics. If you'd like, I can just quickly run through what's submitted. It's up to the board or up to Martha.
It's up to the chair.
If you'd like to submit something or you'd like to discuss something, go right ahead to us, Steve.
All right, I guess we'll try. I can practice my my zooming.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can do this right. Scene. Boom. I think this screen too. Share. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we had shown this before. We have a road that serpentines downgrade. Our plan is, what we'd like to do is keep the existing building. So there's relief. We can't maintain half of the offset. There'll be 14 feet to the road, but only 5 feet roughly to the property line. But we feel this is important to keep this house up in this location on High Road. Road winds its way back. So right now we're proposing 10 new lots. We feel fairly strongly the quality of the open space and that we've connected it, but I guess that'll be part of the discussion as we move forward. So we roll down the hill. We have an open field area here, open space, and I'll flip over to so as you can see here, the open space winds its way all the way back. This is an insert because you couldn't put it all on 80 scale. We're proposing 3 parking spaces here for the public. There'll be a trail network that winds its way through the entire area. So that's our 80 scale. So here's our yield plan, which we ran. I think we discussed that at length at our informal meeting. One thing of note that after I saw the new zoning regulations coming in, what it is, wonder if we could maintain the 40-foot. These 2 lots in the back would require a 40-foot width because with a 20-foot driveway. which this yield plan actually does that. And additionally, what I think it's 90% of the frontage at the front setback, this lot and this lot, they all meet that, those two new criteria coming up. So I believe that this actually conforms in the event that the zoning does change in June. This yield plan conforms to those new changes as I've seen to date. And then we have a landscape rendered plan showing the wooded open space, the open field, tree plantings and such around the subdivision, along with the new structures shown. So also, I've provided a narrative. So it basically just runs through overview of the project, talks about the overview, the discussion about why we feel we're entitled to that bonus lot with providing the 60.8% upland area. I know there's much discussion about the contiguous nature of it. We'll get into those discussions during the public hearing process, I'm sure. But the narrative explains my position, or our position with it. Some graphics here, environmental. This one's actually a pretty good graphic showing how the stable development on one side. Basically, we've pushed these houses forward to be in line, kind of with the existing structures, and we leave the field here and the woods all the way back here to be open. So this is, we feel will be a quality open space of benefit with, public access with the parking. And I think it's going to end up being about 3/4 of a mile of walking trails throughout the property. Some architectural precedence photos. These might be a little bigger than what we probably proposed for that. I call them a modest size. I think the sizes we'd probably be looking at would be around 2,700 to 3,200 square feet. We'd probably, when we end up in the meeting process, they'd be more refined. Probably have a little better idea of the actual architecture and size homes that we'll be looking at on the property. Storm mounted management, a below impact design. We're looking at doing a similar type of design we did on Wilshire, where this will be a private maintained road, so the town doesn't have to worry about it. But we do a river run stone drip edge where the water drips into that, and then it's conveyed to either rain gardens or infiltration basins. We provide some infiltration from the roof areas to recharge groundwater there. It's all sand, so it's very, very amenable to that. There's a discussion about the open space and the open space area here. This is just another graphic depicting that. Some other pictures of a typical what the walking trail would look like in the crossing bridge. This crossing bridge may end up being what they call through flow decking instead of wood or pressure treated, just for the fact that it allows vegetation to grow under it. Then we talk about the design waivers for the roadway. So that's all included in the narrative. I think that's basically the presented material, and I'll stop the share unless I can go back to it if you'd like.
And again, just to note, this was filed with the town clerk today electronically, as allowed by Section 17 of Chapter 53, and hard copies and the filing fee have also been provided. So this would be a vote to accept, and then I think scheduling a public hearing will be deferred for a bit.
Is there a motion?
I'll move to accept.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, then a roll call vote. Larry?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Peter, yes. Woody?
Yes.
I love how you support. Thank you very much, Woody. Martha, are you comfortable with all?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey, Martha, one quick question. Would it be possible, I guess, to at least begin the peer? I imagine do the special permit plans, these special permit OSRDs are subject to peer review. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So we can start the review process, and I'll coordinate with you on how we go forward with that. So I'll be reviewing it and send it to peer review and department review as well.
All right, great. Now, who's doing the peer reviews now for Newbury?
It's Joe Sawatka.
Joe Sawaka. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Martha, any other issues that we need to discuss here?
I do not believe so.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then just continuing on agenda, as we had mentioned in our opening statements, we will have a continuation of our public hearing. Our town planners report will also be continued. Our liaison reports will be continued. We will be having a continuation of our public hearing regarding Newbury self-storage. Villages of Cricket Lane, 40B, will also be continued. Is there any new business to discuss this evening?
Not this evening that I have.
I just want to take a second, a personal note. I was able to sit on the selectmen's meeting last night, and I was very impressed with how the select board and how the town administration has been handling this very difficult situation and negotiating all the moving pieces. And I want to acknowledge our staff and Martha for all the moving piece of work that she's been doing behind the scenes, and the difficulty in negotiating this process, as we want to make sure that everything is appropriate for all parties concerned. So I just want to acknowledge all the efforts that you put forth, Martha, and I know that Emily's been helping out as well, so it's appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
very
board
much
members,
so.
yep, and board members, I want to thank you yesterday for our meeting that allowed us to give our direction for tonight.
One thing I do want to note,
Yes.
as a follow-up to the continuances that were announced tonight, I'm working with town council on sending written notice to the applicants. So that will be done. And we will also get something up on the website fairly prominently telling people that these have been continued and the dates and times to which they've been continued.
There's no other new business that I'm aware of. February, March financial report is also in the continued department, and our minute meetings are, I think, in process.
Emily's doing a yeoman's job, and I had been hoping to get some of them to you today for review, but that wasn't possible. It was my fault, so that will happen.
So we are scheduled to have our next planning board meeting on the May 6th. Depending on what happens with the state of emergency as to whether that is lifted, will determine what our activities will be or not be. And so we'll address that once we have that information. So I want to thank everyone for participating this evening and want everybody to stay well and stay healthy.
You as well.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
On the motion, Larry, how say you?
Yes.
Leslie, how say you?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Peter, yes. And Woody?
Yes.
Great. Martha, would you like to say anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, and Emily, you're all set. Very good. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you all.
Okay,
you.
thanks. Good night.
Thank you.
Hey. Have a good night.